The following program is brought to you with generous support from Marshall County Tourism. Marshall County, we welcome you with a smile. And Marshall County Community Foundation, helping great ideas take flight.
In every life, some rain must fall, and you'll get wet as your sorrow calls. But the sun will rise on a brand new morn. You'll be warm and dry and freshly born.
With support from Judith Robert, and in the memory of our good friends Tom Kapazinskis and John Kubley, and with additional support from the Marshall County Community Foundation, the Indiana Arts Commission, Marshall County Tourism, the City of Plymouth, Bill and Betty Larimore, E. Lee Marshall, and Paul DeBenedictis, and WVPE Public Radio, from creative and historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the beautiful Reese Theater has been restored to its Art Deco prime, where Heartland Artists is breathing new life into the historical Montgomery Ward building, and where the Lincoln Highway and the Michigan Road cross the banks of the beautiful Yellow River. It's the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour! Tonight's show features a prolific singer-songwriter and folk music legend from the Garden State, a philosophy major from Moravian College in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. He has been sharing his own philosophical method for over 4 decades. A world-renowned performer complete with an understated performance style, he has produced 15 albums and given countless performances, including those with Suzanne Vega, Sean Colvin, Michael Manring, Christine Lavin, and Dave Van Ronk. Many well-known artists have recorded and or performed his songs, including Mary Chapin Carpenter, Nancy Griffith, Mary Black, and Maura O'Connell. He has graced the stage of Austin City Limits, Mountain Stage, and E-Town, and on CNN. And this will be his 3rd time on the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. Please help us welcome Mr. John Gorka to our stage. Also on our stage tonight is a pianist born and raised in Valparaiso, Indiana. Though classically trained and having experience in a vast array of musical genres, he primarily works in the jazz idiom, largely due to his preference of spontaneity over rigid structure. His influences span the entire history of jazz music, and he recognizes jazz as a timeless art form, being just as relevant today as it ever was. He is a self-taught guitarist and credits that with his becoming a singer-songwriter. Let's welcome Stefan Hess. And now, recorded live from Wild Rose Moon Performing Arts Center, where in 1866, Simon Becker sold ready-made clothing, boots, shoes, hats, furs, and steamer trunks to the general public, and where we now market our musical variety shows to the local, regional, and world community. Here is the radical rascal of all things lunar, or lunatic, your radio hour host, George Schricker!
The river goes round, around the bend. The river goes round, round, round till the very end. But when it stops, woo-hoo! It starts again. It won't be long till the river goes round. It won't be long till the river goes round and round and round, my friends. Well, thank you, Derek, for that beautiful, super duper fluous introduction.
You're very welcome.
You have, you run sort of a suspicious group of artists over there in Bremen, right?
Well, if you're talking about the Bremen Arts Collective.
Yes, yeah, collective.
I think I can put your mind at ease by saying it's not really suspicious. It's not like a Soviet farm collective. It's just artists sharing studio space and conducting arts and crafts classes.
So you are crafty, though.
Well, we do like to sneak around when we're doing the arts, yeah.
Ooh, well, that makes me want to visit. Well, we'll discuss more about Bremen's art world in the future, but right now we need to move along to one of our regularly scheduled guests.
We have words of wisdom from our resident soothsayer, Rosie. Rosie is sitting next to me with her Rastafarian dreadlocks, green leathern leafy hands, gypsy dress, and her pithy disposition. Always eager to share her thoughts with us, she comes complete with notes of wisdom distilled from a world of scintillating sources. Take it away, John.
We have a note from Rosie. This note was wrote by Rosie. It's a wonder of a note, fresh off a ferry boat. If we voted on a quote, this note we both the goat. We have a note from Rosie.
Well, Rosie's pretty articulate here. So these are the words of Osprey Auriel Lake. Without an honest, decolonized historical narrative dwelling in broader, multivalent worldviews, we will be unable to build a life-enhancing, equitable future for all beings. Thus, our collective past strata must be tenderly surfaced, reconciled, attended to, and mended, or the powers that be will perpetrate ongoing violence to people and the planet. My endeavor here is to add a new cartography of healing and justice based on ancient and present-day cultural maps.
There you have it.
That is one sharp woman, I'll tell you that.
A profoundly intense and interesting note from Rosie.
John Bahler, I'm glad to have you
George
here.
Schricker.
And I've seen something's going on with your face.
George, I'm just happy to be here. Here. Happy to be here.
I noticed your beard is getting longer.
Yeah, this is sap season. I'm spending a lot of cold mornings in the woods right now.
Did you and Nathan come today by horse and wagon by any chance?
No, we don't. We live in different places.
Oh, I didn't know that. No. Okay, I thought it was like one collective, like Derek's collective. All living together, right? You're all...
Again, it's not a farm collective like in the Soviet Union.
Okay. So I think it's time to talk to our guest, don't you? John Gorka. Let's give him a nice hand.
Hi, George. Thank you.
You know, when I heard that list of people that you, had played with and around and all that kind of stuff, I heard in the list Dave Van Ronk.
Dave Van Ronk, yeah.
Yeah, and he was sort of like the Didn't he have a name like the Prince or something?
The mayor of Greenwich Village.
Mayor of Greenwich Village, right?
Or mayor at McDougal Street.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, do you have any Dave Van Ronk stories?
Yes. I got to meet him through Christine Lavin, and she was good friends with him, and she had me stay at his house, sleep on his couch, because Bob Dylan had slept on Dave Van Ronk's couch. So she had me do that, and they were very nice. But I remember one time I opened for Dave at a place called the Speakeasy. It was the back of a falafel joint on McDougal Street in Greenwich Village. It wasn't as glamorous as it sounds, but I opened for him there, and then apparently I got off stage, and he said apparently one of the patrons threw up during my set, and Van Ronk, when he heard that, Van Ronk said, "Everybody's a critic."
Well, why don't you use that as a lovely introduction to your next song?
Okay, all right. Let's see what I can do. Well, this is one song I recorded at Paisley Park in Chanhassen, Minnesota, Prince's place, and it's also one that was on a record I made with Eliza Gilkison and Lucy Kaplansky, where we sing each other's song. What, need me to? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, it must be over 50. So it was on my record called Between 5 and 7. It was also on a record that called Red Horse, that Eliza Gilkison and Lucy Kaplansky and I made in 2010, where we sing each other's songs. And this is a song of mine that Lucy sang. She had a better introduction for it than I did. She said, this is a song about some of John's friends who made some unfortunate choices. It's called Blue Chalk. So I wonder how she's doing. I hate it when the rumors fly. They give off such a strange sense of mission when your helplessness on high. But she would never run from strangers. She sang alone like a bell will toll, way above all the clang and the clatter, out of fear of her demon soul. Maybe none of this is my business, and none of what I hear is true. I am far from the mint condition. Circulation's hard on you. Hold tight, hang tough. Love's not enough to keep you off that stuff, to save you. Hold tight, hang tough. Love's not enough to keep you off that stuff, to save you now. Oh. He can always find the holes in the bottles, even with a blindfold on. Never kept his seat on the wagon, pointing his cue right from wrong. Hold tight, hang tough. Love's not enough to keep you off that stuff, to save you. Hold tight, hang tough. Love's not enough to keep you off that stuff, to save you now. Thank you. Thank you.
It's It's like we're in Shea Stadium.
Oh, I know. This is the greatest audience ever.
I wanted to ask you about Lucy Kaplansky.
Yes.
And she's a longtime New Yorker, right?
Yeah.
And
but she's from Illinois. Originally, she grew up in Chicago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And does she have a PhD or something?
She
in psychology.
She She grew up in a building that had no fewer than 4 Nobel Prize winners living there.
Wow.
Her father was an eminent mathematician, and to her parents' chagrin, she moved to New York City in her late teens to become a singer. But somewhere along the line, she became a clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
I think she met so many musicians and knew there was a whole lot of work. So an opportunity. Anyway, I remember saying to her, "I'm sorry, Lucy, but I'm afraid you're damned to be a singer." And fortunately, she came back to singing and has been doing that ever since.
And she composed some sort of song after 9/11, right?
You're right. Yes.
And my understanding is that you and she sang together, or were at some.
Well, yeah, we played. I played at the World Trade Center at the plaza there on August 29th, 13 days before 9/11, and it was. And Lucy came and sang with me. And there's some pictures of that. My dressing room was in the South Tower. Wow. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, very strange. Well, do you have another song for us?
Yeah, maybe something perkier than that. This is a song from my flower delivering days. It was a place called the Corner Greenery, and one of the neighbors was the subject of this song. He used to help people park their cars on one of the streets there, whether those people wanted that help or not. He wasn't employed by the city or anything. He was kind of a freelance assisting car park person. And his name was Francis, and this is called the Sentinel. Francis called me Joe, but that is not my name. I told him what it really was, but he lost it just the same. When they made the Francis plan, they took too much off the top. The Sentinel of Seneca, the 800 block. He would scare the kids, and they would run away, till they found he was one of them, though he was big and gray. Already 55, he dressed as though he cared, wore his time out on the block beneath his close-cut hair. He always had a word for anyone who'd stop. The Sentinel of Seneca, the 800 block. He'd say you can't park there, and strangers they would go. They would do just what he said, because they didn't know. Francis lived alone, and that's the way he died. I wonder if they'll need a guard on the other side. Some people roam the world to make some kind of change. The parking up on Seneca will never be the same. They say he got a job on some other hill, and if you don't miss him, I know the neighbors will. Francis called me Joe, but that is not my name. I told him what it really was, but he lost it just the same. When they made the Francis plan, they took too much off the top. The Sentinel of Seneca, the 800.
Thank you for the whooping. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, coming up next, we'll have a jazz pianist and a singer-songwriter who now resides in South Bend, Indiana, Stefan Hess. He'll be doing a lovely song which helps us build a bridge to our good friends to the north.
You're watching the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour show on WNIT Public Television, Channel 34.1, featuring singer-songwriter John Gorka with special guest Stefan Hess.
Well, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. We are here with Stefan Hess from South Bend now, but you're originally from Valparaiso, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
In Valparaiso, you studied over there with a piano teacher.
I did. I studied privately with, I started with a piano teacher in Valparaiso named Jim Chrisman. He was my first piano teacher, and we really worked well together. And then I graduated on to Joseph Bogner, who is he's the chair of the music department at Valparaiso University. So I received classical lessons through him. Not officially enrolled at Valparaiso University, but privately. So that was...
And now you are working at Merriman's Playhouse, is that correct?
Yes, Merriman's Playhouse. I know there's some South Bend people here.
Anybody been to Merriman's before?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It's a great place. Yeah, I hired in there as a piano technician apprentice, and now I'm a barista, kind of on accident. They opened a cafe today, by the way.
So. Well, maybe they'll start delivering flowers at some point.
Right. Sure.
Well, you have a song for us, right?
I do, yes. The song is called Bridge to Canada, co-written with a friend of mine when we were at school in Lake Superior State University in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. We had a very clear view to this beautiful bridge to Canada, and there we go. Parker Gage is my lyricist on this one. So, without further ado, here's Bridge to Canada. Have you ever been across the bridge to Canada? Have you been across the bridge? There's a land out here with mountains and streams of ice and beer. It's in a land you're near. But is that where you wanna go? All the way up to the snow? Or have you known there's no other way to go? That's what they built that old bridge for. But have you ever been way up past the border? We better hit the road before we get much shoulder. So maybe I'll buy a beer, 'cause it's getting hard to live down here. The bridge to Canada grows near. So is that where you wanna go? All the way up to the snow? Or have you known there's no other way to go? It's what they built that old bridge for. along that stairway to superior, climb aboard a boat with my co-conspirator. Maybe I'll find my way back across that bridge one day. So is that where you wanna go? All the way up to the snow? Or have you known there's no other way to go? That's what they built that old bridge for. That's what they built that old bridge for.
Thank you. Stefan Hess.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from our hometown to yours, the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour presents our very own audience participation quiz show, Shoot the Moon!
It don't matter to me how smart you are, maybe you're a big buffoon. You don't need to be quick on the draw, all you gotta do is shoot the moon. Shoot the moon, shoot the moon.
And now, here's the host of Shoot the Moon, the original colonist of little-used words, and an often chuffy, twistical, and gut-foundered lad of ribald jollification, George Schricker.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Would you mind reading the rules of this woefully contrived yet mentally challenging extravaganza?
Be happy to, Maestro. Prior to the show, audience members indicate their willingness to participate in Shoot the Moon by supplying an answer to this inane survey question. Are you now, or have you ever been, a student of behavioral psychology?
Well, depends on my mother.
And with that question answered, are you ready, willing, and able to answer a series of capricious and often ill-conceived questions?
Yes.
And from a collection of audience members who have learned to push a button to ask for a stimulating electrical shock while answering in the affirmative, exactly 2 contestants are selected to play Shoot the Moon. So, now, let's play Shoot the Moon!
I have to say, Derek, I'm particularly charged up for this one.
Good, very good.
Okay. All right. Chris Terpstra, and you are a retired teacher.
Yes.
Is that correct? Of theater and film.
Yes.
So,
That doesn't mean I like to be on the stage.
but nonetheless, you were a teacher at what level and what?
High school and junior high. I directed a lot of plays, musicals,
Oh, my
choreography,
gosh.
all of that stuff.
Tom Fry.
Hi,
you
George.
love the blues. You love Mississippi Delta blues, don't you?
I really do, yes.
And you have one of those fancy guitars. What do they call those?
They're called resonators.
Resonator guitars?
I have 2 of them now.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, are you ready to play Shoot the Moon? And is
Absolutely.
John ready to contribute to this?
We don't think so.
And of course, we're going to start with Chris. Chris, you can choose any one of these titles of your question.
Oh, the mystical one, Motorhomes.
With 15 albums and counting, we know that John Gorka is a prolific songwriter, and he has recorded many songs and subjects. So many subjects that John Gorka has even mentioned Indiana in one of his songs. Which of the following song titles was it? Was it A, Winnebago Wascals. B, Airstream Bohemians. C, Coachman Concheros. Or D, Heartland Handyman.
Heartland Handyman. I'm so
Which
embarrassed.
was it, John?
To be or not to be. It's a little hint.
That was a hint.
To be or not to be?
Airstream Bohemians. I'm sorry. Yes, it was on your sixth album, which wasn't called your sixth album.
That's right. It was a record called Between 5 and 7.
Yeah.
Oh, I really knew that. I really did.
And do you happen to know the lines that have the Indiana word in it? Because I have them right here.
I know. I remember this. The song starts out. The Airstream Bohemians starts out. She had a reconstructed face, and he had no lips to speak of. But other than that,
There was no feature out of place and no recipe for sweet love. From an Indiana Dodge to an Airstream by the Parkway, in the silver they would lodge. And as for love, they hit it sharply. Okay. All right. Okay.
That was good.
Okay. All right. So, sorry, Chris, but Tom gets a chance now. What do you want here?
I'm going to go for Spasming Chasms.
Spasming Chasms. Here we go. The Razzie Dazzie Spasm Band was one of John Gorka's first musical enterprises and was formed in 1976. Does that sound right?
that sounds right. That's kind of the new Razzie Dazzie Spasm Band. The original Razzie Dazzie Spasm Band was formed in New Orleans around the turn of the 19th to the 20th century.
Okay.
Wow.
But you didn't really need to know that.
Actually, that's a subtle hint for Tom. Okay, the band consisted initially of John Gorka, let's see if I get this right,
Yeah.
Russ Rentler, and Doug Anderson.
That's right.
Okay. Later, Richard Schindel joined the group
The
on
Schindel,
lead
yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
Schindel, okay,
Yeah,
sorry. Tim Germer,
Herm Germer, yeah, he was the bass player.
he was also part of the group. And John took the name, or the group took the name, from which one of the following?
Oh.
Okay. Was it A, a book by Paul Oliver, The Story of the Blues? B, a poem by E.E. Cummings in his book Tulips and Chimneys? C, Woody Guthrie's Bound for Glory? Or D, a phrase written on a toilet stall in the Godfrey Daniels Coffee House? Did you stomp?
I was going to say I would go with the Canadian one.
I'm going to say the Woody Guthrie. Oh. We struck out again.
I don't think you're being demonstrative enough.
I didn't hear a stop.
I don't think it runs.
I didn't do it.
It doesn't run. That doesn't run in your bloodstream.
Why I said it was the Canadian one.
Yeah,
It's the
right.
Canadian one, eh?
Right. A. So I was wrong. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So
I'm not doing so well.
what's our score, Derek? What an exciting game. It is every minute.
It is quite a duel.
Oh, yes.
Defensively speaking.
Yes.
Chris has 0, and Tom also has 0.
Zero.
We can call that love, though.
Yes.
If we're playing tennis.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, Chris, you get a chance to redeem yourself here.
I'm
what
so
would you like?
excited.
What would you like here?
Well, let's try flower power.
Flower power. Okay. All right. Here we go.
I expect a stomp or something.
After receiving his degree in philosophy at Moravian College, John Gorka was immediately able to parlay his advanced erudition into the job of delivering flowers, a job he managed to hold on to, as some of you know, for 3.5 years. The job enabled John to understand the nuances of flower arranging and plunged him into an ontological understanding of the flower delivery service and the truth and being resided within. It was there he learned the ultimate truth of the term FTD. Which means which one of the following? A, does FTD mean flowers to deliver? B, for the dead? C, florist terrible discovery? Did you ever have any exciting things happen while you were delivering flowers?
I had some terrible experiences on Valentine's Day. It would snow, it would often snow, and I'd be delivering flowers on the hills near Lehigh University, and the flower arrangements would fall over, and I'd have to do emergency repairs.
Oh, yeah.
It's bringing up terrible memories.
Okay. Well, do we have a therapist in the house? There must be one. Oh, wait a minute. My wife's a therapist. Okay. Or I didn't get to the end. Florist terrible discovery. Or D, florist telegraph delivery service.
Well, D.
D?
I don't know myself. So.
That's correct. Yeah, excellent work. Good theater. The first floral wire service established by a group of 15 U.S. florists in 1910, and I would have expected you to know this, was Florist Telegraph Delivery Service, FTD. The group was formed as a cooperative and mutually owned by its cooperative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
yes. Also not a farm.
Are they in Bremen?
Well, it could have been a floral farm, I guess. Anyway, it was owned by its members. Members exchanged orders via telegraph messages, and hence the name wire service was used in the title. So that was very interesting. Huh? Okay, what's our score now?
Momentarily, we have Chris with 1 and Tom following up with 0. Again, only momentarily.
Uh-oh, what does that mean for Tom? Do we send him somewhere?
As a matter of fact, win or lose, everyone gets lucky on Shoot the Moon.
You're kidding.
Both Chris and Tom have won a sleek and elegant sticker bearing the Wild Rose Moon logo, which is the image of Rosie gazing at the first full moon in June when the wild roses bloom. Oh. Drink up and enjoy your morning Java tea or moonshine with your sticker on your cup or other drinking convenience. Congratulations, Chris and Tom.
Chris and Tom!
Everybody wins when we play Shoot the Moon.
Well, right after the break, we'll feature more fine conversation with John Gorka, our songwriter originally from New Jersey.
You're watching the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour Show on WNIT Public Television, Channel 34.1, featuring singer-songwriter John Gorka with special guest Stefan Hess.
Well, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. We're here with John Gorka, incredible songwriter, and I'm almost in tears, actually. During your concert, I realized how fortunate we are to have you on our planet.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Wow, thank you very much.
And I was thinking about how, in reality, you really have used that, that degree, that philosophy degree, because so many of your songs have a philosophical bent.
I think that the Flying Red Horse song is kind of a philosophical song.
I think a lot of your songs feel philosophical to me, but I was going to say, I was a philosophy. I tried it for a while. It didn't fit. Didn't fit me. I had to go into theater, but for a while I was, and I chewed on some various kinds of texts, and those are pretty in-depth kinds of things. Now, at Moravian College, what kind of who were the philosophers you might have studied?
There was an American idealist called Borden P. Bown, I think. And he was mainly interested in self-realization.
Self-realization.
Yeah.
And he was the only philosopher then?
No, there was some other ones. Professor McConnell, I really liked him because he was a peach farmer. He was very, very much a very down to earth person, and but very, very fun to be in his class, and even has big ideas. His ethics class I really liked as well.
So if you got a good grade, did you get a peach?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't get a good enough grade.
Well, you'll get a good grade with all of us if you just play a song.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay, maybe sing you. I'll sing it since you're talking about trees. I'll sing you this one. It's a song about wanting to be a tree when you grow up, and it's from my first record. And it's this is also the song that the judges liked in 1984 at Kerrville. And this has a chorus too, and the chorus goes, I'm gonna reach for the sky, I'm gonna reach till I know why. So you could either sing along, which is encouraged, or you could just stretch, because you've been sitting there a while. This is a good song to stretch too, branching out. When I grow up, I wanna be a tree. Gonna make my home with the birds and the bees and the squirrels. They can count on me when I grow up to be a tree. I'll let my joints get stiff, put my feet in the ground, take the winters off and settle down. Keep my clothes till they turn brown. When I grow up, I'm gonna settle down. And I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach for the sky. I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach till I know why. That's your part. When the spring comes by, I'm gonna get real green. If the dogs come by, I'm gonna get real mean. On windy days, I'll bend and lean. When I grow up, I'm gonna get real green. If I should fall in storm or slumber, please don't turn me into lumber. I'd rather be a Louisville slugger, swinging for the seats. I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach for the sky. I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach till I know why. One more time. I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach for the sky. I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna reach till I know why, till I know why. That was good. Thank you. That was nice. Very nice. I saw some good extension out there too. It was very excellent.
When you were in New York City, I've heard one of your interviews, and you were talking about how you'd had this great experience at Godfrey Daniels, and you went to New York, but it wasn't quite the same or something. You felt like some point in New York.
Well, yeah, I remember thinking when I first went to Godfrey Daniels, I thought, oh, this is, seeing the pictures on the walls and everything of the people who are going to be playing there. Some of them were signed. And I thought, oh, wow, this is what Greenwich Village must have been like in the 60s. And but when I got to Greenwich Village in the early 80s, February of 1982, the Godfrey Daniels Review went to play at the Speakeasy on McDougal Street. And I said, when I found out what Greenwich Village had become, I wished it was more like Godfrey's.
Oh, yeah. Now, you were first on Red Horse, is that right?
Red House Records.
Red House,
yeah.
I mean. And then after that, Wyndham Hill for a while?
Wyndham Hill and High Street Records for 5 records, and then back to...
But you worked with a lot of different artists on Wyndham Hill. Or you met a lot of different...
Michael Manring. I got to work with Michael.
The bass, wasn't he a bass player?
Bass player, yeah. Fantastic musician, yeah.
Yeah, had some kind of special bass. What?
He could play 3 basses at once. He was, and he also you would play with a ebow, so which would make it sing. You know, it was almost like having another. He'd make it sound like a singing with a chorus.
Right. Astonishing sound he got.
He's a wonderful person.
Well, that was a great education you got. Well, share some more out of your education for us.
Oh, maybe I'll sing you. Maybe I'll sing you the song from Godfrey Daniels.
Oh, great! Had you ever heard of Amazing Grace Coffee House? The one that was in Evanston. It was kind of legendary for a while.
Yeah, I heard of it. Yeah, I never got to play there.
Because that's where Claudia Schmidt got her. A lot of attention there. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. This is a song I wrote for Godfrey Daniels and for Stan Rogers, who was my hero. I got to meet him in December of 1980. I was going to be the MC that night, and Dave Fry took me over to meet him, and I was really pretty starstruck. He was in the middle of the room changing strings on his 6 and 12 string guitars, and I brought him over. Dave Fry brought me over to meet him, and he says, "This is John. He's going to be MC tonight." And I barely got my hand out, in the shaking position, and I didn't. Like I said, I was starstruck, and after a little while, I got the courage to come up to him and say, "Stan, I really like your song, Stan." And I didn't feel like I had expressed the way how much his music meant to me. So a little while later, I went up on the other side of him, and I said, "Stan, I really, really like your songs, Stan." And again, I felt that didn't. After I tried it 1 or 2 more times, and it was starting to annoy him. And he said, "Have a beer, John." And I did, and it was better. And so this is a song for Stan and Godfrey Daniels. It's called "That's How Legends Are Made." I worked at a place where the bands came through. Some of them ran false, and some rang true. I'd stick around after they played to see how legends are made. There's just a few stand out in my mind. Some of them still roll, and some are lost to the grind. Now you ask me of the special ones, and where all the legends have gone. There was a man who came from north of here. He could raise his voice and he could raise a beer. And when he left, the music stayed. And that's how legends are made. So surprised us to see just how high he stood. It's hard to believe someone could sing that good. We shared more gold than any band was paid, and that's how legends are made. So long, it was nice meeting you, but how do you get back to Route 22 from here? Ben was a bass man with a brother on lead. There was no more, 'cause there was no need. So fine to see what they could give, 'cause legends call us to live. They came in high and they came in low, worn by the miles and fresh from home. Hard work, magic, then some tragic end, and so a legend begins. So long, it was nice meeting you, but how do you get back to Route 22 from here? Worked at a place where the bands came through. Some of them ran false and some rang true. I'd stick around after they played to see how legends were made. To see how legends are made. Thank you. Thanks.
John, I really, really like your songs.
Thank you.
Let's give him a big hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
We hope you'll entertain the idea of coming back to the radio show.
I'd love to come back.
We'd love to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much to Mr. John Gorka for living and breathing new life in all of us tonight. And special thanks to Stefan Hess, too, for his Bridge to Canada song. Beautiful.
With support from Judith Robert, and in the memory of our good friends Tom Kapazinskas and John Kubley, and with additional support from Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, Bill and Betty Larimore, and E. Lee Marshall, Paul DeBenedictis, and WVPE Public Radio, you've been listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Well, thank you so much to our announcer, Derek Jensen, our music producer, John Bahler, bass guitarist, Nathan Waddell, voice of Rosie, Vera Tiani Schubert, stage manager, Howard Gibbs, audio engineer, Nate Butler, Matthew Bergmoser, Damon Westjohn, Jim Yoakum, and Troy Bontrager. You'll get tired clapping, believe me. Maddie Sirk, Jonathan Nixon, Ashley Matthews, Jennifer Reed, Michelle Schricker, Ashley and Maisie Matthews, Gene Pazdurka, Dan Schubert, Bob Sturdivant, and special thanks to our applause specialist, Michelle Schricker, for her organizing acumen and undying support. John,
George?
Can you isolate your indices to inaugurate increasingly interesting intonations isometrically, idiosyncratically, and idiochromatically?
Well, George, I can't do it isometrically. So when you think you lost at life, oh, pain and heartache fill your soul with strife. Just remember, as you're tumbling down, it won't be long till the river goes round.
Everybody! The river goes round, around the bend. The river goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops,
It starts again.
it won't be long till the river goes round. It won't be long till the river goes round and round and round, my friends.